Okay, this is for the COMM 101 85N public speaking class, and these are some of the comments I have for you that you need to pay very close attention to in order to do the best possible grade on your upcoming speeches. A lot of problems with the informative speech, primarily because a fair number of you did not read in full the directions. Number one, just as you have coming up for your persuasive speech, you must run the topic you intend to use past me. Send me an email, tell me what you intend to talk about, and I will send you back something that says approved or not approved and tell you why it's not approved. There are some topics that we're not going to do in this class, but you need to get that approved by contacting me before you do your speech. You also have, I'm looking at the schedule, a sales pitch mini speech, and that's due this coming Sunday. So you need to get on that and get that taken care of. You also need to be doing a survey monkey for your persuasive speech. Now, some of you did not do the survey monkey for your informative speech, or you did some variation of it, which is not a survey monkey. Follow the directions. Next point, you had two outlines, the preparation outline and the speaking outline. They're pretty much for all of the speeches unless you're instructed otherwise. Number one, each of those pieces of paper must be labeled. What is it you think it is? Don't just give me something that has an outline on it and expect me to figure out whether you intend that to be the preparation outline or the speaking outline. Point one. Point two, your name has to be on it too. Even though it's in Connect, I need to have your name on it because I print those out to look at them, and I need to be able to find who it belongs to. So, speaking outline and preparation outline. Please, please read up on those. Some of you don't do both of them, and some of you don't label either of them when you do both of them. All right, so make sure you're doing that. Some of you are not reading the directions on responding to other people on the discussion boards. That's another thing that's costing you dearly, so please take care of that. Now, peer reviews. All of the peer reviews are now ready for you to go on and do them for the informative speeches. Go online now, and you have to do 2 class members on a peer review. You get points for that. You don't do it, you don't get points. All right, you need to respond to 2 people on that particular thing. Now, let's try this one more time. And if it sounds like maybe you heard this before, well, thank you for at least remembering you might have heard it. Now, the next thing is, don't just hear it, operate under it. Those of you who have never heard it before, you're not doing your job. Inch or 2 above the head, essentially the bust line right in here. This shot, the one you're looking at right now, is the only shot I ever want to see on a speech. Period. Straight in. The camera is on the same level as my eyes. Straight in on that. I don't want you shooting up into the face. I don't want you shooting down. I don't want you surveying the audience. Some of you, there's a television term called a swish pan. And a swish pan is shoom. And then I'm supposed to be able to tell in that swish pan the approximate age of your audience, etc. I've told you how to do the audience. Get this camera shot, have them walk in front of the camera and say their name, and if they don't want to say how old they are because they're up in age, then just say, I'm over 16. If they are under 16, you can't use them. Some of you have some people in your audience that look kind of young, and I can't tell, and they're not helping because they're not walking in front of the camera. Next thing, never, but never, but never have your audience sitting behind you while you're doing your speech. Do you look at your speeches when you do that? Because if you do, you're going to see they're mugging, they're doing stuff, they're upstaging you, they're drawing attention away from you. Please, 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 don't have anything behind you except a blank wall. No lights, no distracting anything, just a blank wall. Many of you have a problem with noise from adjacent rooms. Television sets are on. I'm hearing the audio from the TV set. Dogs barking, kids crying, those kinds of things. Try to get as much of that capitalized on so that you do not have to try to compete with that. Now, this shot, you have some people that come up and say, okay, my name is, and then you go back to the back of the room. You're 20 feet away from the camera. And the microphone's on the camera, so now I've got an echoey room. I can barely hear you. In some cases, you get so far away from the camera, I can't tell if your eyes are open or closed. Some of you are going into shadows. Some of you have light only on one side of your face. Folks, look at the videos and see what they look like and do what you need to do to make sure you're not sending stuff in that I can't hear and I can't see. Eye contact, careful eye contact. It's really, really important. You've got to have volume enough that I can hear you. All right. Visuals. If you use visuals in any of your speeches, hold up the visual if you want to, or refer to it as a PowerPoint. You can see on the PowerPoint this visual. Don't move the camera. Send me a copy of whatever you showed your audience, and I will look at it at the appropriate time during your speech. Send me a copy of them. You don't have to hold it up to the camera, because some of the pictures you're holding up to the camera, I can't tell what's on the picture in the first place. It's too far away. If you send me a copy, then I can see what it looks like. All right. Sources. You have a specific number of sources you need to do. You've got to use that source immediately before or immediately after whatever it is that needs to be sourced. So again, my example is something like this. 10 people are killed each day in traffic accidents in Indiana. Your bibliography is not seen by an audience at a speech. So having the source for that in your bibliography doesn't help a bit. You must either immediately before or immediately after you say that, give the source. So it would be something like, according to the National Safety Council, according to Indiana State Police, according to AAA, 10 people are killed in traffic accidents each day in Indiana. Or right after you say it, 10 people are killed each day in traffic accidents in Indiana, according to the National Safety Council, according to AAA, according to the state police. It's that easy. But you're not getting those sources into your speech, and you have to. One final comment, and I'll wrap this up. Your credibility. What is your credibility on the speech? Who are you to be doing that speech? Give us your credibility. And sometimes the credibility is, I've studied this. Sometimes this is something I'm preparing to do as a career. A lot of times this is something I've been interested in all my life. But establish why you are talking about that topic and why we ought to at least think you've paid attention and might know more about it than we do. Okay? Once again, if you have any questions whatsoever, call me in my office. Call me on my cell phone, but call me. Please don't wait until Sunday night at 11:30 to try to post your speeches. A fair number of you have had problems. You should know at this point what you need to do. If you have a problem, call the help desk immediately. The phone number is on your syllabus. Do not put it off. Get it posted as soon as possible. Remember, your audience is supposed to walk in front of the camera and go sit down. I don't want to see them afterwards. I've also told you, contrary to what it says, I know that, but I've told you, you don't need to show the audience at the end of your speech, just at the beginning. So walk past, go sit down, be quiet, and do your speech. They should not participate. Do not ask them anything. Do not quiz them on anything. And do not have them make any response to the speech, applause, or way to go, or that was really good. All right? Have any questions, give me a shout. We'll talk to you again next time.